Corinthians 1 Corinthians 9, 3 through 7. Mine answer to them that do examine me is this. This is my defense for those who examine me. This is my answer to those who question my authority. This is how I vindicate myself to my critics. You know, we're going to have critics if we're living for the Lord. And the hardest critics are those in the family, those of the church body. Sometimes we need to listen to them because they're right. But sometimes it's just damaging, hurtful lies because of the flesh. This is what Paul was dealing with, damaging lies. Have we not power to eat and to drink? Have we not the right to eat or drink at the expense of churches? Have we not the right to be provided with food and drink? Can't I claim the same privilege that other apostles do by being a guest in homes? So the situation Paul's dealing with is he's doing the work of the apostles, but they're not taking care of him as they do the apostles. He's having to earn his own way so he can simply eat and then carry on while they're helping all the other disciples, and other disciples are not wanting. I think part of the reason why Paul was a tent maker is so he always had a place to stay. And he'd sell this so he'd have food and drink and could survive so he could further share the gospel when they should be helping him. He was certainly an aid to the gospel. There's no question about that. But they discredit helping him. Have we not the power to lead about a sister, a wife? Have we not the right to take a wife about with me? Don't deny me the right to carry a believing wife with me on my journeys. May we not take along with us our journeys a Christian sister or a wife? Apparently the disciples went out with their wives. It's very likely this happened, that their wife was part of their ministry based off of it. Sometimes they may have stayed home, depending on the journey. But I believe they went together. And I believe this verse alludes to it. It's interesting because Paul, I believe later or earlier, says you stay single as me, which Paul understood and wanted to stay single. I don't believe that is the thorn in his flesh, but he's saying, don't I have the right to do that then? The answer was yes, he did. If we seek marriage, we should seek a wife that goes on with us wherever God leads us. It's understood that the apostles weren't married. This isn't true. We see Peter was married. And so that teaching is false. We see that here. As well as the other apostles as the brethren of the Lord, which refers particularly to James here, and Caiaphas, which is Peter. I only and Barnabas have not we the power to forbear working. Or is it only Barnabas and I who have no right to refrain from working for a living? So what he's saying is, I want to spend all my time serving the Lord. Is it only us as apostles that don't have this right? This is going into the fact that if preaching is a full-time job, then pay them full-time wage if you can. Some circumstances it can't happen, but if you can, then do. Are Barnabas and I the only ones not allowed to leave their ordinary work to give time to the ministry? Now, this is talking about full-time to the ministry. This isn't talking about, okay, I work 4 hours for the ministry a week, or let's just say 10, and they get full-time pay. No. It's talking about putting in, he's putting in so much time. We see what he did. Yet he had to limit because he had to work. Talking about getting away that limit of work so he could spend that time even more. Good pastors put in good 60 hours a week serving if they're full time. If they're part time, they can't do that much. But often still expected to. Who goeth a warfare any time at his own charge? Who planteth a vineyard and eateth not of the fruit thereof? Or who feedeth the flock and eateth not of the milk of the flock? So what he's saying is, you're benefiting from my service, but you're not putting back into it. Is his point of this. For us, we can't give back to Paul. But for those who's making an impact in us, those ministering to us, we can give back too. This isn't to say every minister that's on the radio we should give money to, because money would run out quick. It is saying we should give to our local church, those locally ministering to us that help us, and help them minister. We should support local ministries, not just those away.